Hey Techno Studs, let's take a look at testing and troubleshooting our network. So really we're going to use ping to do a lot of this troubleshooting and testing out of our network. What I have here is in the bottom right hand corner, I've got my passwords just in case I need those. In the top right hand corner, I've got all my IP addresses that you can look up any of the IP addresses I have. I also have the network diagram up here in the top right hand corner, so I can toggle between those two. And then I have in the main section here, I have a command window up that I'm going to be doing my ping and troubleshooting with. All right, the first thing that I want to do is I want to test my connectivity out to these different devices, so I can start pinging all of these different devices. So one thing I like to always check out is the default gateway is pretty pivotal to your network. So I'm going to ping 10.1.0.1 and see if I've got connectivity. I already know that the first ping often fails, so I'm not too concerned at this point in time. Now there's a delay, that's a little concerning. My second ping failed, now I'm concerned. And then I've got a third ping that's down. So now I realize, no, that something's not right here. So then the next thing I can do is, that is at the far extent, or it's at the head of my network. I know I'm connected into switch 2. So what I can do is I can look up the IP address for switch 2, which is 10.1.0.12. So let me try that out next. Ping 10.1.0.12. I'm directly connected into this switch, so it should go pretty fast. I should be able to hit a ping pretty quickly to this device. But here again, I'm seeing, oh, it's timing out. And so I have a more serious problem at this point in time. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ipconfig and take a look at my network connections. And I see IP version 4 address 10.1.0.34, subnet mask, default gateway. So at this point in time, nothing's jumping out at me, let's say at this point in time, of anything being wrong. There is something wrong there. Maybe you caught it. But at this point in time, let's say I'm saying, no, well, maybe this is not my issue. Maybe my issue is with the switch. So I'm going to connect into my switch and see what's going on there. So I'm going to click on my PuTTY session. I'm going to load switch 1, load, click open, and I see, well, I don't have connectivity, right? Because I don't have connectivity to this network. So I can't do it that way. So next what I'm going to do is I actually have the console cable hooked up here. So I'm going to say new session, and I'm going to connect via the serial interface. So I'll load that interface up. I'll click open, and I'll make a connection to this device. It's asking for a password. So this is switch 2. I need the console passwords for switch 2. I'll paste it in here, hit enter. I need to be in the enable mode, so I'm going to type in the enable, and then I'll need the enable password. So I'll copy the password, I'll paste it in here and hit enter, and now I'm in switch 2. Okay, so I have switch 2 up here. One thing I always like to do is check the interface of switch 2. So I'm going to show IP interface brief and hit enter, and I can see what I know. This one is connected into 34, so I'm going to scroll down to 34, and this is in fact showing that this is up. So the interface is up. I know that I am connected to it. In fact, I could also take a look at my network setting connections here, and it's saying that there's no internet, but it is saying that it is connected. It's giving the connected signal here. So this makes sense. The switch lines up with what the computer is telling me as well. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the MAC address table. So let's type in show MAC address table. I'm going to hit enter, scroll through here, and I see that FA034 does have a MAC address associated with it. And so I see that it ends in EEDD. Well, it looks like 34 is up, and it also looks like it's communicating. So I can switch back to my laptop, and I can do a ipconfig/all, and scroll up to this Ethernet interface right here. So here's the Ethernet interface, and I'm going to take a look at the physical address, and it ends in EEDD. So in fact, communication is coming out from this device. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the MAC address table. So I know those pings went out. The pings went out the interface. So then the question is okay, well, how come the pings are going out, but nothing is responding back? And here, what I'm going to do is type in ipconfig all, because I'm suspecting now that if communication is going out, I just have a wrong setting here. And I'm going to take a more closer look at my settings here. And in fact, I see 10.11.0.34. So yes, in fact, I have the wrong IP address that's assigned to this machine. This machine then thinks it's on a whole nother network than the one that the other devices are on. And so that is where my communication is failing at this point in time. I have the wrong IP address. And if I would have looked closely on the original, when I originally typed ipconfig, I could have saved quite a few steps with this because now that I see it, now that I take a look at it, 10.11.0.34, it's an incorrect network that's on. So I can correct that and then see if I can ping anything out. So to correct it, I'm going to open up my network connection settings here. So I'll click here, network connection. I'm going to go to this device. Actually, as I mentioned, I always like to get into this older interface here and go to the properties of the Ethernet connection. I'm looking at IP version 4. I'm going to click properties and I will correct for this. I'll click OK, click close. And now let's see if I can ping, ping the switch.12. And I do right away. And then I can also see if I can ping the gateway. And I do. So in this particular issue, it was a wrong IP address. And when you have the wrong IP address, I'm really not going to be able to get to any devices on the network. Well, that is if the IP address falls under a different network range. So there you go. So we fixed the problem, and the first issue, check, we got it.